Hello, my name is Adriana Masarego.
And I'm Nanuit.
We're going to be discussing the article Our Future Selves by Jared Cohen and Eric Schmidt. And and they talk about the future of technology and how it helps everyone in the future.
And for me, I'm gonna use the article "Growing Up Tethered" by Sherry Turkle, and she talked about how our current generation of teenagers are tethered to the phone and technology. Um, so what do you think about technology in connection with people?
I think that technology brings people more together. They will be able to connect with people from all over the world and not just people around them. For example, my mom FaceTimes with my family in El Salvador, and I think that the idea is amazing because they are able to have a face-to-face interaction, but despite that they're in different countries.
Maybe it connect more people virtually, but it makes more people more isolated socially, especially direct talks. Because I have seen many times like a group of people they meet up, but they don't actually talk. They just look at the phones the whole time. Like,
I think that people do tend to be more dependent on technology while they're with other people, but then again, if we didn't have this technology in our connection with people, we wouldn't be able to talk to like family members from other countries all over the world.
but the more time we spend online, the less time we spend like interacting in real life. I don't think ele- electronic communication is reliable as communication in person.
That's true. There are positive and negative sides of technology with connecting with people, but I think that people should also acknowledge that they have a person in front of them to talk to, and I think they should stay off of their phone while interacting with other people.
Mm. I'm gonna use another sample in the article about an 18-year-old Roman has to text while driving. His personality has been shaped so he has to text regardless of the dangers to himself and others. So so for this, I think that we would be like those hungry zombie on TV because we always looking for social media to like so we text and drive with careless disregard with human life.
Um, I think that in this case, people do tend to not care for the surroundings while they're texting or driving or things like that, but people should know the dangers of their surroundings, and they should know that what they're doing is unsafe for their lives, and they should just keep off of technology while they're doing something important that could endanger their life.
Mm. Can you tell me more about the positive things to convince me?
Another thing that technology is will affect is of education. It will help students that do not have an access to school due to distance or they don't have access to an education. For example, my mom did not attend school because the school was too far away, and I think that these kids should have access to technology because we could give them a pre-filled tablet with all the lectures and materials and different applications that they could use so they can learn on their own time and they could do it right at home so they could have access to an education.
Oh, are you talking about online classes?
It's very similar to an online class, yes.
What do you think that they would get distracted easily while
Um,
doing the stuff? Because I know my friends like she took online classes and she told me she doesn't like it because she got distracted. While doing that, she just went on YouTube and other stuff and couldn't pay the full attention to the lesson.
there is a possibility of distraction because it could be a little boring, but I think that these students, if they really want an education, they should be responsible enough to manage their time so they could have enough time for an education and enough time for entertainment as well. So they won't have the full knowledge of an education with technology.
For how about in class? Because you know, students when the teacher asks them to do a task on the phone, they don't actually do it. They text a friend or check the Snapchat or Instagram.
Um, I think that, well, because nowadays teachers do not typically allow technology in the classroom. Like, they don't want their students on their phones because they will be texting or on social media. But I think that if we introduce technology in the classroom on a regular basis, people will have no need to be hiding their phones or secretly on social media because they will have the technology in front of them, and that they should incorporate interesting lessons with technology so they will not have the need to look on social media.
Okay, so what else can you say about the topic?
Another thing that will help in the future is technology and medicine. I think that um, they could help medicine because, for example, in the future, in the article, Jaron Cohen and Eric Schmidt talk about the possibility of growing organs. For example, if a patient has a critical disease and they need, let's say, a heart transplant, they will be able to get one by growing an organ that's tailored to their specific cells so they could have their own heart instead of being put on the transplant list so they could actually have a chance at living. And if they, like, for example, let's say that they are on the transplant list, most people do not really get the organs they need in time, and the possibility of growing organs will help them increase their chances at living.
But it might bring significant risk to that can harm patient safety.
There are risks to everything in medicine. Even now, there's risks to a lot of procedures, but I think that it will help them in the long run because they will have a better chance at surviving than being put on the, let's say, a transplant list, and they will not have the access to the things they need.
Okay, so I have another question because you mentioned about the robot thing in our like for the future. Is that for the future or they are working right now?
Going back to the medicine and technology, I think that another possibility is the microscopic robots in our circulatory system, that it could detect possible heart disease or early stage cancer, and I think that it's good that it's detecting it now, well, in the future, that it will be able to detect possible diseases so people will be able to live longer.
Okay, despite those advances, I heard of some company they use the robot instead of the employees and they got replaced by the robot. Do you think it's a good thing?
I think that for the people, it will not be a good thing because they will not have a job to provide for their family. But in this case, that they could look for other jobs that are available because I think that technology is going to play a very good role in the future, and I think that people should be able to find other things that they can do because technology in the future is going to play a really good role.
This may be the good news for the business because it helps them make more money and serve customer in time, but at the same time, it's the sad news for the employees because they got replaced by the robot and they're gonna do the same job they used to do before. So
But then again, they could also try to find other jobs that they're really good at.
so
So overall, there are positive and negative effects of technology as long as we don't abuse its power or be too dependent on technology.
I think so too. Yeah, there's always negative and positive impacts. So as long as we don't overuse it, we know how to stop, like where to stop, when to stop.
Mhm. This is all true. Then again, this is in the future, and nothing is for certain. Things can always change in the future, and I think that also that it makes our lives easier with technology in our lives, so it will have less stress on us.
You have a good point.